Welcome, my beloved friends. I'm here today to shine a light on this very intense moment in time and to hopefully offer you some tools with which to navigate it and come out the other side in the desired outcome. And that is the theme of this entire chapter, beginning with all of the events that started in 2019 and will continue to unfold for some time forth, maybe even leading us through 2024. So, as you know right now, or don't know, we just came through a huge eclipse, and we're still very much in the energy of that eclipse. That eclipse kind of opened a door, a segue of time, a chapter of time, and the what's processing in this chapter of time, it really calls for us to come to to stand up in our work as spiritualists, as believers, as seekers or teachers. This is an era when the teachers graduate to be on the front lines of love, and the seekers graduate to become the teachers of those who forgot to seek, and now that things are getting intense, are starting to ask some questions. And so we all step into a larger role right now. So back to what's going on. So there was a very intense eclipse, and the energy of this eclipse that will remain for some time, it's like earthquake energy or volcano energy. And that sounds maybe frightening or intimidating, but we have to remember that these things erupt or earthquakes happen because there's pressure that's built up that has to be released. After it's released, even though there may be a series of aftershocks, things become more stable as that pressure isn't there just waiting to erupt. So at the end of this chapter, we will come to another astrological event, which will then close that door that has been opened right now. But we have a little bit of traversing to do. And I'd like to offer you some tools. We'll do a nice sound healing in a moment. But I'd like to offer you some tools with which to kind of navigate what's happening right now. One thing that you can expect a lot of is hidden truths coming to the surface. So secrets, anything that has been done in deception or anything that has been hidden will be coming into the light. And that may happen on a global scale so that we all see it before us, and it may happen in secret boardroom meetings where we never see it happen, yet we feel the effects of it and receive the effects of it in our daily life. So just know that's happening on every single level, from you personally to our governments and the powers that govern our governments that we probably don't even know exactly what that is. So on all levels, truth coming to light. It's very evident and obvious right now that there's a lot of untruths. We feel the evidence of all of these untruths every time we turn on a news source and it is biased towards one side or the other, that it's holding an opinion, or we turn on maybe a late night comedy show or whatever it is that we're watching and it's opinionated. What that means is that there are hidden truths. They are not speaking the full truth, because both sides, everyone holds light, everyone holds the intention of wanting to live on earth. And what do we want more than anything? Happiness. So why all this upheaval and all this push into darkness right now? Untruths. So you can expect some kickback and some pushback. So this is a really good time to not engage in arguments, don't antagonize anyone, don't lead anyone into don't push anyone into trying to convince them of your perspective of things. Not a good time to do that. This is the time to stand on the fence, not on either side of the fence, to stand on the fence, to see all and to love all. This is the time when we pull on our big girl and big boy shoes of the ascended masters who said that we will be as they are. Well, this is the moment to love all, to be love, to be that non-judgmental center that speaks from truth. This is the energy, this is the way, this is the only thing that will lead us to the desired outcome of heaven on earth, of peace, of living with freedom and joy. Being with, or being in, or even processing the fear, the anger, the unfairness, the division, the separation of this time is to participate in the forces that, for whatever reason, are working towards the opposite outcome of coming out into a world that is controlled, not on behalf of humanity or freedom, not in the light of joy and love. And so we must, in this moment, step away from our TV, step away from any biased news source whatsoever, even if it's a comedy show. Step away from all dystopian media, film, music. We must step away from it and step into the light. This is a really wonderful time, this chapter right now. It's a really wonderful time to go back and reread those old foundational books that once moved you into your spiritual path, to read Conversations with God and read the original Abraham Hicks, and go back and watch the movies of the Ascended Masters. Watch the wonderful movies that have been made about the lives of Buddha, of Jesus, of Kuan Yin, of the Ascended Masters who have really made a difference, of Gandhi, who stood not as an Ascended Master, but as a man, as a lawyer, who stood on the fence, loving all, loving those who hated him, loving those who would normally be his enemy. This is the work of now. You are the ones, we are the ones we have been waiting for. If you were born into this time, if you were born into this era, you chose to be here and you were chosen to be here. And so fill that role with every iota of your being, with every cell of your being. Do not move only halfway into the potential that you were born into this life to fulfill, your life purpose. Do not help in the small ways and hope that they make a difference. Take a stand, drive your stake of light into the earth, plant your feet and say, I am the one, I am the light. You may be the only one that can turn the key. Your standing firmly in the light may cause the difference of the scales tipping towards that truly desired outcome. Remember that all of those who are pushing for anything dark, most of those who seem to be on the side of that are simply in a state of confusion. They are not choosing a dystopian future in which we lose all of our freedoms and suffer. They are choosing what they have been told by the powers that are way over here, ahead of us all, planning for years in advance. The humanity that stands there pointing fingers at others are simply lost. They are not bad, they are not evil. They are simply confused. And so they push the agenda that takes us towards the darkness. Now, you may have your own ideas of what that agenda is, but I welcome you to back off of any ideas whatsoever that separate you and say, well, they or they. It is only us now. And it is our work, if you are clear that you choose a utopian future, heaven on earth, a place where we get to be ascended and free. If you are one of these, then your work is to love those who are lost, to be the example of light, to sway them to come back to our side, not to change them, not to make them wrong, to be the example of love. What happens on the other end of this tunnel right now, this astrological moment and energetic moment, this historical moment in the passing of humanity, what happens? There will be another alignment in our future when we come to the end of this tunnel. It is our work to be sure that when we come to the end of this tunnel, we emerge into freedom and light and love. We can only do that by being it. Today I'd like to do something different. Today I would like to create a safe container for all of us to allow the fear, the anger, the frequency of suppression, oppression, the fear of unknown future, the fear of losing our freedoms. I would like to create a safe container in which those may be felt. If you have noticed, in society it has become an unsafe environment for us to speak our truths, lest we be attacked, lose friends, or be forced to engage. And so today, a safe container for the tears and the fears and the anger to flow from within the body outwards, to be released into a safe container to be transmuted back into benevolent love in the universe. And so I invite you now to prepare for a sound healing. Using earbuds or headphones, if you're not already, to really receive the frequency of these instruments. Taking a moment to center, to ground, to bring your body to evenness left and right. Check into your hands and notice if your hands are open and receiving or closed and holding. Taking a deep breath, that breath that arrives you into this very moment right now. And as you surrender that breath, allow yourself to surrender any emotions that you have been holding, any fear or tension around the events and circumstances of being on earth right now. And I will create that safe space in which we do this work. I call forth now into presence before us compassion, the benevolent love, the eternally and ever-flowing nurture and nourishment of divine feminine love, the love of the mother. The feminine love of the universe, reaching its arms around each one of us individually now to hold and nurture us, so that we may surrender like babies in your arms. That we may soften, that we may cry, and that we may know your arms around us. As we allow the vulnerability of innocence we call forth now in every language and every name ever spoken throughout the history of humanity. The ascended masters who walked this earth before us. The ascended masters, both embodied and in spirit. We call you forth now with all of your wisdom and universal, unconditional love to come forward into this temple of surrender, this temple held in the arms of divine love and nurture. We ask you to join us in the processing of the tears, the processing of the fears, we ask you to join us in this process of being a human on earth at this time. reminded by the Ascended Masters that we chose to be here, and we were chosen to be here in this moment, this historical moment on Earth. We are here for the purpose of becoming as they, the Ascended Masters, were and still are, the light of love. And so we pour forth our sorrow, our sadness, our fears, our anger. We breathe deeply and allow our hearts. We allow the pressure on our chest and on our shoulders to melt. Here in this safe temple of unconditional love. We allow an emptying of our heart, an emptying of our emotions, a pouring forth of all that has been suppressed, oppressed, unspoken, dared. All that is poured forth here, every tear, every pain, every sorrow and fear, is restored to benevolent love in the universe by releasing it, by bringing it from within us. To the temple of universal love. It is transformed, transmuted. Back to the source of all energy in the universe. Light, love. And so it is. Now, feel the empty space opening within you, the space in every cell and every thought. Feel the space opening in your heart. And begin now to allow the light of truth, the light of divine love, of freedom, the light of divine intelligence, the clarity and the simplicity of that intelligence. Allow these truths, these beauties, and this light to flow into you like a river of light, filling the spaces that were formerly occupied by fear, anger, suppression, and oppression. Allow this transformation to restore you. Let it flow. Allow yourself to receive the wisdom and the love of the ascended masters. So that you too become the one who knows what to do, how to be. So that you too become the source of light. So that you too become the one who stands on the fence, loving all. The source of love, the anchor of love, the river of love. Allow this light source to flow into your every cell, the space around your cells. Allow this light, original, authentic light, to flow into all the corners of the mind, bringing clarity, simplicity, to flow into your heart, bringing authenticity, and to flow to the surface of your being, from the smile on your face, to the light in your eyes, to the brilliance of your auric field. So that you become that light in the world. You become the light that walks, talks, speaks, and breathes the wisdom that this is the time of we. This is the time of us. There is no I, there is no us and them. There is only us. is only us. And so we fill the roles of our ultimate purpose. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. It is us. This is the moment. The time is now. We rise and we stand with the tools that we have. And we trust and know that where we may lack, the light of the universe, of Source, will fill those spaces, those needs, and even speak those words through us. We are the ones. And so it is. Deep breath. I'd like to invite you to remain here in this sacred space, this sacred temple, held in the arms of divine feminine energy that restores and renews you, where you may be your authentic self, where you may be vulnerable. I invite you to remain here in this temple, within which also stands the Ascended Masters, all of them, standing with us. I invite you to stand in this temple, to remain here, within which also stands all of the light workers of the world, all of those who stand on the fence, the seekers who now become the teachers, and also those who are ready and wanting to enter this temple, but don't know how. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. There can be no others. This is the time. Do it now. May the light of divine intelligence, universal love, and compassion for all living things light the inner dwellings of our beings, illuminate our minds, illuminate our hearts. Allow us to know the way forth, to speak the words, to take the actions, to be the ones, with ease and with grace. May we receive the wind at our back, the assistance and the guidance from those who came before us. And may we bring with us every willing mind and heart on earth now, until the moment that we open that door into the desired future of heaven on earth. We are the ones. And so it is. Many blessings, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for joining us. Go be the light. It's now.